today. This is the 26th annual City of Tampa Black History Celebration. To our Mayor, Honorable Bob Buckhorn, Tampa City Council, City of Tampa employees, administrators, corporate sponsors, community partners, friends and family. This is a wonderful day. It's not just a wonderful day because today is Valentine's Day. Today is also a wonderful day because you are here. And I would say, since we're going to be spending some time together this morning, that it's only right that we get the most out of it that we can. So I say to all of you, let today be the day, let this moment be the moment that you recharge your dreams. Let today be the moment that we renew our commitments, and even for some, today is the perfect time to press the reset button on your life. I would say to all of you that our Creator has given each and every one of us gifts. And now is the time, the present is the time to use those gifts. So I would implore you, no matter if you are a professional or a prayer warrior, if you are a grandmother or a baby brother, if you are new to the city of Tampa or if you have been here for some time, I want you to think about making the possible the inevitable. This is the City of Tampa's 26th annual Black History Celebration, and our theme is determined to make a difference now and in the future. Thank you all for coming. And now I introduce to all of you our Mistress of Ceremonies. Some of you probably actually saw her this morning on WTSP Channel 10. Our Mistress of Ceremonies was born and raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and her career has taken her all over the country, from Atlanta to Greenville, Mississippi, but now she resides right here in the Bay Area. And you can see her, like I said, every morning on 10 News. Without further ado, I present to you Miss Cheyenne Malone.
Good morning. Yes, I go to bed at 2:30. Well, I get up at 2:30, I should say. I go to bed at 6:30. But I'm delighted to be here with everyone. Everyone looks dashing in their red and pink. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I'm honored to be emceeing this event. And we're going to start with Osea Lattimore. She's an operations manager with the City of Tampa Wastewater Department. She will deliver the invocation for this year's celebration. And following the invocation, Miss Virginia Williams. She will sing the national anthem. She's a singer, songwriter, keyboardist, and recording artist. She can be best described as multi-talented, and she's been singing since the age of 4. And a special Valentine note, Miss Williams, she'll actually walk down the aisle on the 28th of this month, so let's give her a congratulations. And once again, we'll give Miss Lattimore a round of applause as she makes her way to the podium to give our invocation.
You may bow your heads if you like. Father God, creator of all that is beautiful, all that is good, all that is lovely, and of a good report, we give you respect, honor, and praise, for you are worthy to be praised. We have gathered this morning to celebrate Black History Month. Allow your spirit to fill the core of our very being. Most gracious and loving God, we remember the struggles of our people, Black people, people of African descent. Thank you for leaders who you continue to put in positions that further the cause of equality for people of all races. Inspire each of us to work more faithfully for justices and more diligently for dignity of life for everyone. Lord God, we remember the hurts of exclusion and prejudice, but we know that you will raise our vision above all barriers, and you will give us wisdom and courage to make better neighborhoods, better communities, and make this city a better city. Help us to be mindful of why we are celebrating. Help us to keep in remembrance all of those who gave selflessly, so we can gather together this day as a multitude of races in one accord to celebrate Black history. As you give us hope and mercy, teach us how to give to those who feel hopeless and to extend ourselves to those who cry out for mercy. We ask that you roll over our spirits so that we may go out with liberty and with freedom to make this a better world. We pray these things in your mighty name. Amen. And now we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Lattimore. Now we'll have Ms. Williams.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Virginia Williams, everyone. One more round of applause. Beautiful. Singing since she was 4, and we can tell, right? Now another individual worthy of a round of applause is Councilman Frank Riddick. Mr. Riddick is a native of Tampa. Okay, and he's actually... All right, Henry Cohen is actually taking his position, and he has a few words for us right now.
Good morning, everyone. Councilman Reddick told me last night after our land use meeting that he had a dentist appointment this morning, so I can guarantee you he would rather be here than where he is right now. One of the things he always does, though, he's just come in. So let's give him a round of applause. And you want to come up and read that? One of the things that Councilman Reddick always does when he reads a commendation is he asks for his colleagues to stand up. So I'd like to ask my colleagues, Councilman Frank Reddick, Councilman Mike Suarez, and Councilwoman Lisa Monteleone, to stand while I read this commendation from the Tampa City Council. The month of February has been special in the city of Tampa's history. It has been celebrated as Black History Month since it was initiated in 1926 by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, founder of the Association for the Study of Negro Life. One of the association's purposes was to expose all citizens to the rich heritage of African Americans and their historic struggle, which is a testament to the triumph of the human spirit. That continuing tradition of pride, education, and sharing is represented today in the City of Tampa Black History Committee, Incorporated. It is with great pleasure and pride that we, the City Council of the City of Tampa, recognize and commend the members of this committee for their tireless efforts on behalf of our citizens and on behalf of our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
Now to a man that needs no introduction if you live here in Tampa or anywhere in the Bay or maybe even the U.S. I'm getting some points right here, right? Since taking office on April 1st of 2011, Mayor Bob Buckhorn has focused on business development in downtown, and we can all tell, making downtown Tampa a destination and revitalizing neighborhoods like Sulphur Springs, the areas that need it most. Please welcome Mayor Bob Buckhorn as he comes forward to present a proclamation.
Good morning, everybody. It is indeed good to be here. I think I have been here for all 26 of these, and so it is amazing to watch how this has grown and the importance and the significance that it has taken on. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate not only Black history, but our history together as a community, our history together as a people, our history together as a city, and to recognize the many contributions of some of the people that are here in this room today, some of the icons that have walked with us along this journey. And I want the young people here to pay special attention. I want the men of distinction from Middleton High School and some of the kids from Mount Pleasant that I saw earlier today and some of these folks that are here today to pay attention, because if you don't know your history, you're going to repeat the mistakes. If you don't know the trailblazers that came before you and pay homage to their contributions and to recognize what they went through, which is a very different world than what perhaps you're going through, and to acknowledge that but for some of them, you would not be here today, and this city would not be a great American city. People like Carolyn Collins, the head of the NAACP. People like Senator Arthenia Joyner, who went to jail for the rights of African Americans to vote. People like Bobby Bowden, sitting in the front row right there. People like Tom Ford, our fire chief. People like Fred Hearns and Alton White, who we got to honor a few weeks ago at the Heritage Festival. Young folks, but for them and thousands like them, this would be a very different place. So it's important that we remember. You know, I oftentimes think of the words of Langston Hughes, who said, the moment we lose faith with one another, the moment we cease to hold each other, the lights go out and the sea engulfs us. This is a city that holds on to each other. This is a city that recognizes the inherent value in everybody. This is a city that doesn't demonize people based on race or creed or color or ethnicity or the God you worship or who you love. This is a city that celebrates that diversity as a strength and recognizes that we are better together, we are stronger together, We are more accomplished together. We are more competitive together. And together we will move forward, not leaving anybody behind. But it's important that you know where you came from. And you also know how far we have to go. So on behalf of a grateful city, in gratitude to the many employees that I see here today, particularly some of the folks that are wearing the orange shirts and the blue shirts and the green shirts, not the suits and ties, but the men and women that get out there every day and do the hard work that makes us. So now, therefore, I, Bob Buckhorn, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Tampa, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2014 as Black History Month in the city of Tampa, and urge all of our citizens to join me in participating in the various events and celebrations that honor this annual tradition. Let us never forget. Let us never forget. Congratulations. Photo time.
Now we'd like to have U.S. Representative Kathy Castor make her way up here. She represents the 14th Congressional District of Florida, an area that includes Tampa, of course. We're honored to have her with us today. Please welcome Congresswoman Castor.
Well, good morning. I'm very honored to be here today to help celebrate the City of Tampa's Black History Month celebration. This is, as the mayor said, a community that embraces cultural diversity and every day works for opportunity for all, no matter which neighborhood you live in. I want to thank Mayor Buckhorn, by the way, because right now we are in the middle of a great civil rights struggle. One that has captured the attention of the country for a number of years, and that's the right to see a doctor and get health care in an affordable way. And it was just a few weeks ago that Mayor Buckhorn announced one of the most innovative initiatives in the entire country, that President Obama, the Obama administration, and all have saluted his leadership, and that's the fact that he has opened City of Tampa Parks and Recreation Centers to enroll our neighbors in affordable health care. And Mayor, you know, I went back to Washington after that announcement and I started bragging about you to all of my colleagues and told them to get on their mayors from all across the country. So you will see this expand, but it was the leadership right here in Tampa and Mayor Buckhorn that believes in the dignity of all that is going to make a huge difference. In fact, the numbers that were released yesterday, the state of Florida leads the nation in the number of enrollees under the Affordable Care Act. And I want to recognize the Tampa City Council as well, who are in the trenches every day on this. And also make sure that you're aware that City Council member Lisa Monteleone and I are hosting a job fair next week at Mosey at the Museum of Science and Industry on Wednesday the 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All of your neighbors or relatives that are looking to change jobs for a better opportunity, looking for that entry level position to get on that the ladder of opportunity, the ladder to success in life, please join us. We're going to have over 50 employers here that have positions available. So Lisa, thank you very much for partnering with me on that. But thanks to Frank Crum and the entire committee for this terrific celebration today. Every year, as your United States representative, I get to recognize an outstanding community leader during Black History Month. They are recognized in the congressional record, and all of their achievements will live on in history through the congressional record that goes into the Library of Congress. And I'm very pleased to announce this year that the Congressional Black History Month celebrant recognizee, the honoree, is Miss Carolyn Collins. The honoree. Well, obviously, you all know Carolyn. Who doesn't know Carolyn Collins? She grew up here in Tampa, graduated from the beloved Blake High School, helped bring the new Blake High School back. She is a graduate of the Florida A&M University and returned here to Tampa to devote her life to improving the lives of all of our neighbors through public health and education and civil rights. You know, Carolyn had, after returning home as a graduate of FAMU, started at Tampa General Hospital in nutrition to ensure that the patients in the broader community had the tools they need to be healthy and well. And she has worked at Tampa General there and as a community leader for over 30 years. She was at a fun town hall meeting that we had when we were working for health care reform and the adoption of the Affordable Care Act, and even though there were some folks beating on the windows and shouting, Carolyn would not be moved. And she explained that your health is a fundamental civil right, and that's what she has believed in for decades and worked for decades. But she hasn't stopped there. She was inspired in the early days, as in the 60s, as the NAACP under Bob Saunders, Abe Brown, many of you here, along with youngster and Senator Arthenia Joyner, beginning to lay the groundwork for greater equal rights across Tampa and across our community. She has now risen to president of the NAACP, fighting for political, social, civil justice for all of us. She hosted the Black Contact TV show from 1986 to 1992. And Carolyn, I can't thank you enough for all of your dedication to the health, education, and well-being of the citizens of the city of Tampa and our greater community. It is an honor to recognize you here today. And just one other comment about the NAACP, and I know, Frank, you have said that the theme of this celebration today is determined to make a difference now and in the future. Well, all of you have made a difference, but I'd like you to take Carolyn Collins' example and to commit to make a difference moving forward. And one issue that I'd like to highlight to you, I think, is so insidious in this day and age that we have got to join together and take action. And it's the issue that President Obama's Attorney General, Eric Holder, spoke of earlier in the week, and that many of you know has been a problem for decades. And that's the disenfranchisement of African Americans after they serve their time, they come out of prison, they don't have the right to vote. They don't have their civil rights restored. This disenfranchisement has led to the disenfranchisement of over 5.3 million Americans. That number is larger than the population of 31 states in the United States of America. In the state of Florida, this is shocking. 20% of African Americans are disenfranchised under these post-Civil War era policies. 10% of Floridians of voting age rights remain disenfranchised today because of Florida's outdated system. We are the worst in the country in restoration of rights once someone has served their time. It is something that is under the control of the governor and cabinet, but I believe now it's such a fundamental violation of equal protection and civil rights that it is in violation of the Constitution. We are going to give the governor and cabinet an opportunity to make a change, to look at the statistics that Florida is the worst. We have a lot to be gained, and I need your help. If you all would commit, as you have done on other issues, to focus on this in the upcoming year or two, I believe this would be fundamental to improving the civil rights and equality for all throughout this community. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor Buckhorn. Thank you, all of you. Congratulations, Carolyn.
Thank you, Congresswoman Castor. If we could get all the elected officials in the building to stand up, and we'd like to recognize all of you with a round of applause. Stand. We certainly appreciate all that you do. Next, we have Miss Marae Holmes. She's the manager for community partnerships and neighborhood engagement. She works with community partners and private entities to make Tampa's neighborhoods a better place to live. And today, Ms. Holmes will remind us what this celebration is all about.
Thank you, Cheyenne. An occasion. It's a time to celebrate, to honor, to reflect, to applaud, and to rejoice. Today, the City of Tampa Black History Committee is honored to have you all here to join us in these festivities. For celebration, in addition to celebrating this committee and our city, the theme of the National Black History Celebration is the Civil Rights Act. This legislation that was enacted in 1964 and outlawed all major forms of discrimination, specifically voter registration, which the Congresswoman just spoke of, as well as the right for everyone, especially us, to attend schools, churches of our choices, eliminating discrimination in the workplace and public facilities. And those causes that Carolyn Collins and the NAACP are still fighting for today. We honor. Mr. Bowden, please stand up. We honor you today with the support of the then Mayor Sandy Freeman, and you had the foresight to create this committee. And in an effort to just raise the level of awareness about Tampa's rich history, and for those of you, like our mayor, that remembers that first celebration in the city council chambers, thank you. We also celebrate the other past leaders of this organization, the former city clerk, Jeanette Martin, Ms. Betty Johnson, and our current leader, Frank Crum. Thank you all. It's a time to reflect. We're going to reflect today on the accomplishments of all of the African Americans in this city, but especially my colleagues with the City of Tampa that have accomplished so much, and I'm proud to be a part of this city now. And everyone in this city that has made contributions in the business, education, medical, religious, media, government, and especially community activism. We applaud the young people that are here today that are determined to make a difference by going to school, staying in school, and we hope that you're inspired by something that you heard or felt today. And finally, we rejoice. The fact that we were able to get up today and attend this is a big rejoice, but also with the support of our current administration and all of you in attendance, we want to continue this legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. Now, if you work for the City of Tampa and you're in the room, I'd like you to stand up so we can applaud you as well. City of Tampa. Police officers, firemen. Whether you wear a suit and tie or you're in uniform, we appreciate what you do. Now, normally at a setting like this, we tell you to put away the cell phones, turn them off, and we do want you to do that. But at this time, if you're on social media, because it's big, it's blowing up, and it's only growing. Before you know it, they'll be replacing our newscasts on television and just straight social media. We'd like you to get out your phones and follow us on Twitter. This is the City of Tampa Black History Committee. The Twitter handle is @COTBHC. If you don't have your phone on you, write it down. We're using a hashtag as well today, hashtag determined, and the number 2, rather. And while you're at it, you might as well follow me on Twitter as well, @Cheyenne Malone. You got to promote yourself. Self-promotion, right? @Cheyenne Malone, SHYANN Malone. I will follow back. Yes, ma'am. And I'll keep you up to date of all these great things that are happening here in Tampa. I present to you next a group that represents truly the next generation of gospel music. And we want to tweet about all the entertainment we're hearing about today, too. This is Zeal. Let's put your hands together for Zeal.
Good morning. We thank you for this opportunity and you guys supporting our ministry, and we hope that you are blessed by this song. Thank you.
What if God is unhappy with our praise? What if He is not pleased with the words we say? What if He takes away His love and His Spirit from above? What if God is unhappy with our praise? What if God is unhappy with the way we live? What if He is not pleased with the way we give? What if He takes away His love and His Spirit from above? What if God is unhappy with the way we live? We must change the way we walk. We must change the way we talk. We must live a life that's pleasing to our King. We must preach God's holy word. Let His praises be heard. Lord, just be pleased. Da-dum. Lord, just be pleased. Da-da-da-dum. Lord, just be pleased. Da-dum. Lord, just be pleased. Da-da-da-dum. Lord, just be pleased. Da-dum. Lord, just be pleased. Lord, just be pleased with our praise. 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 Please with our praise. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I live
That's why I was giving all those Twitter plugs, because I knew they'd be Twitty-worthy, right? I want to talk about a program that will be put on by the Tampa Police Department tomorrow. So after all that fun wining and dining this evening, you can get out tomorrow morning, not too early, after you watch the morning show, of course, from 6 to 8 on 10 News. At 11 o'clock, they're having a Meet at the Park community festival. So the police officers will be out there meet and greeting, and you'll have music, games, food, retail vendors. This is at Lowry Park Band Shell at 7525 North Boulevard. And you'll also have some free health and social service screenings. We all know how important preventative health care is too. So this would be a great event to come out and socialize and do some good in the community. The activities of the City of Tampa Black History Committee included recognizing Tampa's history, highlighting events and people that have a profound cultural impact, and helping young people realize their potential. Corporate sponsorship plays a major role in helping this committee carry out this mission. Here to acknowledge our sponsors is Gregory Spearman. He's the purchasing director for the City of Tampa. Mr. Spearman wanted us to know, or let you guys all know as well, that he has 2 Valentines today, and it's his lovely wife, Tammy, and his 15-month-old granddaughter, Layla. Mr. Spearman.
Thank you, Shane. We'd like to recognize our corporate sponsors for today, and as I call your name, and if you're here in the audience, would you please stand? Tampa Electric, Busch Gardens, Bright House, Manny's on the Bay, the Tampa Convention Center, Florida Blue, United Healthcare, Bank of America, the Florida Sentinel Bulletin, Heart, Rooms to Go, Molina Healthcare, the Richmond Group, Cardinal TBE, Casper's Company, New York Yankees Foundation, Sam McKenzie, Bowen Travel, Wheelabrator, Marvin Martin, Bobby Bowden, Tampa Bay Federal Credit Union, the Regions Bank, Fifth Third Bank, Betty Johnson. If there are other corporate sponsors that are here whose name was not called, we'd like for you to all stand so we can recognize you. It is through your philanthropic efforts and support of this committee that we are able to make a difference in the community through scholarships that we provide to our young people, giving back. So again, corporate sponsors, thank you for what you've done in the past. Thank you for what you're doing today, and thank you for being partners with us in the future. Thank you.
Gregory Spearman, thank you. Everyone having a good time? This is a good way to kick off the weekend on Valentine's Day, right? Now we introduce Mr. Jeffrey Fauntleroy. He's the Community Improvement Chairperson for the Mayor's African American Advisory Council, and he'll formally acknowledge our honorees.
Good morning, all. Today, the City of Tampa Black History Committee would like to take this time and honor these determined individuals, also known as the Determined Ones. These determined ones have stood like a tree, planted like a river, and declared they shall not be moved. Come what may, they are here to stay. They showed perseverance in perilous times. They pursued with passion and performed with a purpose. Despite many difficult times, they did what was necessary to make Tampa a better place for all people. And today we salute you, the determined ones. After I call your name, please stand to be recognized. In the area of technology, Mr. Ralph Smith. In the area of creativity, Rachel Means. In the area of outreach, Dale Green. In the area of outreach, Gypsy Gallardo. In the area of giving, Tanya M. Lewis. In the area of faith, Dr. W. James Favorite. In the area of responsibility, Ross Anderson. In the area of culture, Dr. Sam Wright Sr. In the area of legacy, Mr. Willie Robinson. In the area of community, Denise Matei James. And in the area of business, we ask that the family of Moses White please stand. In civic duty, Mr. Monroe Mack. And in the area of education, with the family of Dr. Sandra Wilson, please stand. On behalf of the City of Tampa Black History Committee, we would like to thank you all for all that you have done to make Tampa a better place for us all.
The only thing that could make today better would be the temperature. It's a little chilly, right, for Florida? But that's not news, that's weather. So I have nothing to do with that. All right, let's once again give it up for the determined ones. Well, the moment of truth is almost upon us. Mrs. Ida Walker is an executive aide for the Tampa Police Department within the Office of the Chief of Police. But if you were to ask just about anyone within TPD, they would tell you that there's not really a true title or description to quantify what she does for TPD and the citizens of Tampa. I introduce you to Mrs. Walker.
Thank you, Cheyenne, and the City of Tampa's Black History Committee for inviting me to participate in this year's program. I am very pleased to introduce my friend and former co-worker, retired Major Gerald Honeywell. In your spare time, I encourage you to take a look in your program booklet and read his bio, because I won't be reading from it today, because there are just some characteristics about a person that is difficult to be captured on paper. So I plan to share with you some things that you will not see in his bio. When I was thinking about how to introduce Gerald, this phrase came to mind: I am my brother's keeper. Now, this is a definitive statement, not the questionable one Cain gave to God when he was asked about his brother Abel. It is quite the contrary. Gerald is his brother, his sister, his neighbor's keeper. And as stated in this year's Black History theme, he is determined to make a difference in the life of others. You see, Gerald is what we call an old school brother. He's old enough to remember segregation and its transition into integration. There were some important life lessons learned during that era, like when neighbors looked after families and every other woman in the neighborhood acted like your mama. Gerald was taught to be his brother's keeper. During this time, if you were too young to participate in the civil rights movement, you were indoctrinated. Gerald, like many of us, was learning to make a difference. After graduating from high school, Gerald served our country by joining the United States Coast Guard. He was determined to make a difference in the lives of others. He joined the Tampa Police Department, and over a 30-year span, he rose to the rank of major. As his brother's keeper, he was determined to make a difference in the community. When most people retire from their jobs, they may get a watch, they may get a plaque to hang on the wall, or they may even have a party, but not Gerald. He's the only person that I know who received a full-fledged parade with beads and all when he retired. Obviously, he made a difference to residents in the East Tampa community. As a member of Bible-based Fellowship Church, he serves in several capacities, including as an armor bearer, working closely with the pastor. Gerald is his brother's keeper. He even has his own Big Brothers program. He counsels young men in high school through his mentoring program called Building the Guts to Lead. Gerald is teaching others what he was taught to make a difference in the community. In retirement, he's a motivational speaker, a consultant, an actor, a comedian. And if you know anything about Gerald, you should know he is definitely a clown. He likes to bring laughter and happiness to his captive audience, a talent which he recognizes comes from only one source. And I have left the best for last, which is why I left the best for last. Gerald is a child of God and doesn't mind giving credit to the one who has made a difference in his life so that he can make a difference in ours. So after the next musical, let's give Gerald a warm welcome as our speaker for today.
Good morning, everyone. Let me put my specs on. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the chairman, Frank Crum, and his committee for inviting me. I'd like to thank all the dignitaries, and all of y'all are dignitaries that came here today. And I'd like to thank Ida Walker, my Christian warrior, my friend. She started speaking, and I started wondering, who's she talking about? But I love Ida. She's always been a champion and a great supporter of mine. How about that saxophone player? Did you like that? I first met him some years ago. I saw him playing in church, in the church choir. He was at USF, and we were a part of the Tampa Police Black History program, and I said, I got a guy that can play a saxophone. So I asked him, and he was real excited. Plus, I told him we were going to pay him. So he was real excited. So I asked him again for this event, and of course, he was real excited again. Oh yeah, and I'm paying him. But wasn't he a blessing? You know, my purpose in life is to bless other people. It's my number one job. I'm in the blessing business. And guess what? So are you. See, you must understand that your purpose in life is to bless someone else, because you are in the blessing business. You put the makeup on the city's face. Now, before I go any further, I was asked not to preach. And how are you going to ask a black man at a Black History program not to preach? I ain't going to say who it was, but that's like asking a rooster not to cock-a-doodle-doo. So now I'm going to proceed to cock-a-doodle-doo. And that's going to be my message to you this morning, that you are in the blessing business, and you should be determined to make a difference now and in the future. You know, my daughter listens to gospel music every morning while going to school, while she drives to school. One morning, she asked me to take her to school because she was tired from playing basketball the night before. So I took her to school, and I'm listening to her music, and this one song came on. And the song took my breath away. And by the way, if you don't understand my expression, this is my lovingly Father, thank God look. But the songwriter name is William Murphy, and it's called It's Working. Now, if you would, help me out, because I believe the words of this song will help not only me and you. Repeat after me some of the words, and I will paraphrase them, and it'll be short. This is my season for grace, for favor. This is my season to reap what I've sown. Everything is working together for my good. This is my season for grace, for favor. You ought to be able to be determined to make a difference now and in the future. Now, before we go any further, we must recognize some African American history makers who were in the blessing business, like Patricia Bath. She invented a method that helped eye surgery, that helped blind people see. Elijah McCoy, who invented the oil-dripping cup for trains. Other inventors tried to copy his oil-dripping cup, but they wasn't any good. So the customers would come to the store and say, don't give me that other mess, just give me the real McCoy. How about Otis Boykin? Invented electronic control devices for guided missiles, IBM computers, and the pacemakers. He invented 28 other electronic devices. Now, wouldn't you say these people were in the blessing business? That's the great thing about Black history, is that it's everybody's history. Black history is history. Some way, somehow, it affects people all over the world. I drove around before I got here downtown, and prior to coming here, I noticed that the traffic lights were working fine. I've been through the streets 1,000 times, and the traffic cones and barricades along Channel Side guided me into the directions I needed to go without interference or harm. It was obvious to me that the people in traffic engineering and public works are in the blessing business. Once I parked, I looked at the structure of the building. It looked pretty good to me, and I knew a building inspector and fire inspector had checked it out before it was built, and on many occasions afterwards. So it became obvious to me that they must be in the blessing business too. I didn't get harassed or robbed getting here, so the police must be doing their job. It became obvious to me that they're in the blessing business too. As I was walking out the garage onto the sidewalk, I noticed that it was well paved and clean. I don't know who paved it or cleaned it, but they must have been in the blessing business too. I proceeded to walk toward the glass entrance door. I could see a reflection of myself as I straightened up my tie. And I told myself, all right now, it's time to go. There's no doubt in my mind, whoever cleaned that glass was in the blessing business too. As I entered the lobby, I was greeted by hugs, handshake, hellos, and how you doing? It became obvious to me that in that meeting and greeting, people, they were in the blessing business too. I noticed the carpet, once I entered the room, had been vacuumed and shampooed so well it made my shoes look better than before. But whoever cleaned the floor was in the blessing business too. So I began to walk differently, more erect, if you will. Before I stepped on the stage, I took 2 stumps to make sure it was secure. It felt very secure. I don't know who put it together, but as far as I can tell, they were in the blessing business too. Once I got on the stage, I noticed all these good-looking people sitting up here. I knew once I sat next to them, I looked good too. There's no doubt in my mind that they all are in the blessing business too. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, I'm standing in front of a large audience of people who are the owners of blessing business. And every owner in here is holding someone else's gift. How about a retirement tip? Don't you leave your organization without being proud of being a member of it, because you're in the blessing business. Maybe you recently lost a loved one and feel as though you couldn't make it, but you did. It's your season for grace, for favor. Maybe you just bought a new house or car that you never thought you could afford. It's your season to reap what you have sown. Perhaps you're tired from Gasparilla Day and Night Parade, the Super Bowl, the RNC, the Frozen Four, and the Distant Classic. But didn't you get a pay raise in October? Oh, but everything is working together for your good, because it's your season for grace, for favor. You should be determined to make a difference now and in the future, because it seems to me that God is leaning toward you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share a story with you because it's going to bless somebody. And I was hoping the chief was here, but I got my assistant chiefs here. 2 weeks before I retired, I would always get off on the interstate, take Martin Luther King, make a right on 15th, and make a right on Lake. I worked in East Tampa. And each morning I would pass 2 crossing guards, and they would wait. And I would go into the precinct. Well, 2 weeks before I retired, one of the crossing guards wasn't there. A new person was there. The first day I went by, and she didn't wave. Second day I went by, and she didn't wave. The third day I went by, and she didn't wave. So I drove to the back of the precinct where the wrought iron gates open, and it bothered me. I put my car in reverse, and I went around, and I put on my police lights, and I jumped the curb. The crossing guard looked at me with big bug eyes, and I got out the car, and I said, "Hello, ma'am, I'm Major Honeywell of District 3. How are you doing?" She said, "All right." I said, "Where's the lady that usually stands here?" She said, "Oh, well, she retired," to my dismay. I said, "Ma'am, if you're going to stand here, you got to wave." You see, there's a little something that I know, that there's a little God in everybody. And sometimes you don't want to wave and you don't feel like speaking. But when you do, that's God saying, "Hello, Gerald." Everybody know a bad guy that's done some good. We see on the media all the time, some guy arrested for some crime 30 years ago, but when you interview the neighbors, he's the best guy on the block. He's helped everyone. So I told this young lady, her back is to the traffic, and everybody's waving, and I'm waving and speaking to her. I told her, "Ma'am, you in East Tampa. They say this is the lowest poverty in the city." She said, "Okay." I said, "And they say that it's the most violent crime in the city." I said, "Ma'am, come and stand next to me." I said, "But there's one thing they don't say. As cars pass, the bus driver pass waving. The preacher pass waving. The little kids 8 to 80 waving. They don't say that we care." I said, "Ma'am, you got to wave. Some things I don't know, but it's one thing I do know." She's forward, it's one thing I do know. Weeping may endure for the night, but in the morning. Hey, Darrell, in the morning. Hey, Diane, in the morning. Hey, Ida, in the morning. Hey, man, joy comes in the morning. You ought to be determined to make a difference now and in the future, because it's your season for grace and favor. It's your season to reap what you have sown. I don't know, but it seems to me that God is leaning toward you. Thank you.
Well done. Now you can go long as everybody's engaged, so we don't mind. In fact, we're always looking for good storytellers at Channel 10, so if you ever go on a side gig. We're coming to the end of this beautiful event. I'd like to bring up City of Tampa Black History Committee Vice President Lenore Russell. She has a few closing remarks for us.
Good morning, everybody. I am privileged to be here and thankful to be here. And we want to thank our MC, Ms. Cheyenne Malone, and we have a presentation for her. Mr. Frank Crum will give it to her.
Cheyenne, we are just honored that you took time out of your day to spend the morning with us here for the 26th Annual City of Tampa Black History Celebration. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for what you do to help people be better in this community. And just thank you for being a part of this celebration. These are for you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Perfect for Valentine's Day. What can I say after such a God-filled, inspiring, and spectacular program? What can I say? I will say, let's give everyone a round of applause. What can I say? I will say that the City of Tampa's Black History Committee is blessed right now with one of the most gifted, hardworking slate of officers and members ever. Our president, Frank J. Crum, his leadership makes it easy to follow him. Frank, why? Because he is a servant. Whoever wants to be a great leader must be a great servant. Especially Frank, but not only Frank, would the entire City of Tampa Black History Committee Incorporated please stand and be recognized? Please remain standing. Mayor Bob, you really have a good group of talented and gifted individuals working for you. And when we join the ranks of the Convention Center staff, our numerous sponsors, please stand sponsors, Tico, Busch Gardens, Bright House, please stand. All sponsors stand up. Major Honeywell, he's making a difference. Kathy Castor is making a difference. She's a determined one. We know that from what she said earlier in Washington, D.C. It's no question about it. Please stand. Our mayor is making a difference. Please stand up. The children are making a difference. New Hope, Mount Pleasant, Men of Vision, please stand up. Zeal, stand up. The City of Tampa employees, individually and collectively, ones that have been coming to work for 30 years, 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, when you have to drop the kids off to daycare, pick them up when you go home, prepare dinner. Please, City of Tampa employees, stand up. City Council, all of our elected officials, the determined ones, please stand up. Everyone in this room should be standing up. If you're not standing up, stand up, because we have come together. You made this program a success, and we thank you for it. We even have Frank J. Crum Sr. in the audience. Please stand up, Mr. Crum. Your son is so happy that you're here. We thank you. And just before the talented Miss Virginia Williams comes to lead us again in the acclaimed Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, we want to mention our Determined Ones card. You can make a pledge to be determined to do whatever you want to do. Be a better father, be a better mother, a better employee, whatever your dream is, whatever your hope is. If you don't have one, you can get one before you leave. Make your pledge to be determined to get something accomplished. Give it to someone accountable and do the right thing. Be determined now and in the future. Miss Virginia Williams.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies.
song, full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Oh.
That was a beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Please give her another round of applause. Once again, tomorrow, I hope that you all will be where the City of Tampa Black History Committee will be, and that's going to be at the park. We're going to be joining forces with the Tampa Police Department tomorrow at the Laurie Park Band Shell. The event starts at 11 a.m. And I know also that our mayor, Bob Buckhorn, will be there. And tomorrow, the City of Tampa Black History Committee will be wearing this particular shirt. And this one is for our mayor, Bob Buckhorn. And not to be, and also I know that Congresswoman Castor, you're not going back to Washington, D.C. this weekend, all right. So we also have a shirt for you as well. So we look forward to seeing you in the park.
All right, well, this concludes the 26th anniversary of the City of Tampa Black History Celebration. Be sure to stick around for some photo ops. I want one with the mayor. And the honorees, we definitely want you to stay around for some more photographs. Hope you enjoyed today's event, and refreshments will be in Ballroom D. Happy Valentine's Day.